Hello and welcome to another episode of Table Talk. I am Dan and we are going to give you some short answers to some tall topics. Today, my guest is Adrian Munro, the CEO of Richmond Wellbeing. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you for being here. What are you bringing to the table today?
Well, look, it's Christmas, and I know that for most of us, it's a great time of year, lots of activities and lots of fun things, but I wanted to also address some of the reality for many people is that for some people it's a lonely time, and for other people it's a time when you've got to see people in your family who maybe you don't get along with. And so it can actually be quite a stressful time for some people who are either lonely or who have some fractured relationships with their families.
Indeed. I'm sure everyone heard that topic and just went, yes, I understand.
I don't know that there's anybody out there who says, no, I've got a great circle of friends, and everyone in that circle of friends and all the partners and families, I love them all.
Oh, of course.
That's not real.
This is Christmas. Okay, so what are some of the reasons why Christmas is not overly festive and just a happy time?
Yeah, so we know that, and we talk about it a lot during the year, there are some people who are quite lonely, they're not particularly well connected in the community, so they see lots of other people doing lots of events with their kids and families and communities, and it really highlights to them how lonely they are.
Yeah, right.
When so much is happening around them. So that's one thing. For people, it makes them be even more aware of how lonely they are, and for other people who have fractured relationships in their families, they can kind of avoid it during the year, but around Christmas there's lots of catch-ups, and instead of saying, oh great, I'm going to catch up with the family, extended family, they think, oh, now I've got to see this uncle or this cousin who I really don't get along with. How am I going to deal with that?
All the awkwardness. Okay, so let's stick on loneliness for a bit. What are some of the ways people can deal with feeling lonely at Christmas time?
Okay, so I think that it's actually easier to connect with people at Christmas than what some people might think.
Okay.
I think there's lots of families and lots of groups and lots of churches who are actually quite welcoming of other people at Christmas time.
I agree.
So there's actually lots of options out there, and I've got to tell you, the vast majority of people I know, if someone said, look, I haven't really got anything to do on Christmas or Boxing Day, can I come along? Surely they'd say, absolutely, come along. So if you're lonely at Christmas, I'm sure there's lots and lots of people who'd love to have you along. You just need to step out a bit, go to a lunch with some, and if people invited you, and this is the other thing, is that often people get invited but they feel too self-conscious or don't have the confidence to step out and say yes. So for those people who are lonely, you need to put into practice things we talk about during the year. Step out a bit, put yourself out there, and it's probably not going to be as hard as what you thought, and you're probably going to go along, meet some people and have a really great time.
For sure. I think so often people think, I don't have any friends, or I feel lonely, but they don't want to step out and try. So I think, as you just said, Christmas is probably a really good time to try that, because people are probably feeling a bit more warm and a bit more jolly to actually welcome people in. Okay, that's loneliness. Let's go to relationships and all that kind of stuff. So what about those who have those strained or broken or awkward relationships? What's some ways to handle that? Yeah,
so the first thing is human beings are absolutely fantastic at catastrophizing things in our mind. So we could be going to a Christmas lunch and there's going to be 40 people there, 39 we get along well with, and one in-law or one distant uncle or cousin that we don't get along with, and we spend all the time stressing about that one person who we're not going to get along with. So the first thing is, let's not catastrophize this. Let's realize that it's just one person out of a large group, and we need to look at the greater good here. Christmas is not a great time to bring up disputes or issues that you have. We just need to be responsible adults and think, look, I'm going to go along to this. My kids are going to have a great time, and I'm just going to be polite to this person who I don't particularly connect well with, but I'm just going to spend other time talking to and sitting with other people. Let's not make it a bigger deal than what it needs to be.
That's just adulting, isn't it?
It is.
That's life. You're going to have to deal with people you don't generally get along with or frustrate you. You just got to go with the punches, right?
Exactly.
Indeed.
Because what we need to realise is when we go to a Christmas lunch and think, oh, gee, I don't get along with this person and I find this person a bit irritating, there's every chance that somebody else there looks at you and says, actually, Adrian's a bit annoying. He talks too much. He doesn't have any funny jokes. He's, awkward. That's just what it's like being a human. That's just real life. And it's just about adapting and being flexible and getting along with people for the betterment of the whole time of year of Christmas, and putting into practice the values and the principles that we're trying to practice at Christmas.
Absolutely. And so what about kids in all of this? How can we help kids in these situations? What should we be doing for our children?
So kids are very perceptive. Kids are more perceptive than what we think. And if we go along and it's very awkward with the adult relationships, the kids are going to pick that up, and then they'll be in the car and they'll be like, gee, why don't we like that person? Why don't we get on there? And so we need to realise kids are more perceptive than what we think. And really, Christmas is for me, I guess it's about the Christmas spirit and the values, but it's more about the kids having a good time and them enjoying time with people who they see and their time. So really we need to be the responsible adults in the room and think we're just going to get along, and we're going to be cordial and polite to people, and we don't want our kids to have any sense that there's tension in the relationships with the adults. This is what it means to be an adult and to be a parent, is let's try and protect our kids from that so they can just have a good time. And also demonstrating to our kids, we are setting an example to our kids every second of the day, whether we like it or not, and whether we realise it or not. So the way we interact with other adults who we may not particularly naturally get along with, we are teaching our kids in that moment what they are going to do, and how modelling to do that in their relationships and as they get older. So again, being an adult is tough, but we need to be the responsible adults in the room, especially at Christmas.
They're always listening. Kids are always listening, and they will repeat what you said when you don't want them to. Okay, so how can we say I have no issues with people and I'm not lonely? How can I help someone who is feeling those ways?
Yeah, okay. So a couple of things. I think certainly being really proactive and inviting people, there's always extra room at the table. Say, here's some people who, has moved interstate, they don't have much family here, they haven't been here long, or they're on a working holiday, or they're just, lonely person, doesn't have much family. Be proactive in reaching out and inviting other people, and genuinely connecting with them and trying to invite them along. I think also if you're going to a Christmas event and there might be some tension, try and be someone who can smooth over things. So with your own tension and relationships, practice what we've been talking about just now. But if you are going along to a Christmas event and you're pretty fine, but there's some people that don't get along, try and be the oil that smooths over with those things. Try and sit in between other people. And try and be a great example for others.
Amazing. So easy.
Oh, well, if only it was so easy. I know the family listening today would be, they'd be thinking, that's great advice. And I don't think anyone listening is going to disagree with what we're saying. They know it's true, but they'll probably be driving their car thinking, now I've got to put into practice.
Exactly. That's the hardest part.
It is easier to do these things again. We are great at catastrophizing things in our mind and making them to be 10 times harder than what they actually are.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, well, Adrian, as always, wisdom and knowledge, it's a beautiful thing, especially at this time of the year. And I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been watching or listening. If you want to hear more from Adrian or any others that we've had on Table Talk, head to our website, 98five.com, or on YouTube. And while you're there, make sure you like and subscribe. Adrian, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Have a great Christmas.